It's about 10 past 7 or thereabouts on whatever day it is, Tuesday I think. That must mean I've almost been in Japan for a whole week. Wow. And even though I only got here on Sunday at 5 o'clock, I'm already done with Nagasaki. It's time to go. Luckily the city itself is reasonably contained and I saw everything I wanted to see yesterday. One whole day was enough to kind of cram everything in. A bit fast, a bit rushed, but that's okay. I'm heading off to Hiroshima today. I'll be there by 1:45 this afternoon. And so I've got all of this afternoon plus tomorrow in Hiroshima. I've still got to try to track down my missing iPad. It's fair to say that I've slightly overestimated how early I should be for my Shinkansen. Mine leaves at 20 past 9. There is one standing on the platform as we speak, or the track as they call them here. But as you can see from the board behind, it leaves at 8:28. As you can see from the clock behind, it is 5 past 8. This train leaves in 23 minutes, and mine doesn't leave for another hour and 15 minutes. This seat will be my friend. About to come into Shin-Tosu. This is where I have to make my first emergency lost property stop to see if I can report the iPad or find the iPad, because this is where I stopped on the way down. I have 15 minutes between this Shinkansen and the next Shinkansen to Hiroshima, so I'm just very, very hopeful that I can make myself understood in time. I did manage to get in on time to talk to them, and they were very helpful, as they always are. Unfortunately, I was told what I have been told before, that the first ticket from Tokyo to the first station I got off at, Shin-Kobe I think it was, is on a different JR network. They seem to be unable to check with other networks. Like this is JR Kyushu, it's JR West or JR Central or something, and that apparently means that they can't check. They obviously don't have the same systems, or they don't something. It all seems very separate unnecessarily, but anyway, that's the way they work. So I really do think that I left it in the seat pocket of that first train, so hopefully, just gave me a number. I'm going to check with my friend Kyoshi in Tokyo, see if he's heard anything or whether that was the number that he called. My fingers are still crossed, but I don't know what the chances are at this stage. This is Hondori Street in central Hiroshima. It's a completely undercover shopping street, kind of like the one that I found in Nagasaki last night. It's undercover all the way down that way, all the way down that end as well. Shops and restaurants and fast food and whatnot else. Ramen and cake shops, cosmetic shops, restaurants, cheap-ass drugstores, Mr. Donut, Uniqlo, there's a pachinko and slot place. Basically a casino, pachinko. There's lots of old people who go in there and use them. Secondhand books. Oh, whoops. I'm just walking then. I didn't even look. Didn't know whether I was meant to be or not. Whoops. Too busy looking at what I'm looking at. Watami, Japanese dining, oddly enough. Japanese dining in Japan. Surprise! Another bookstore there. Tully's Coffee seems to be everywhere. I'm guessing it's just a Japanese chain. I've never seen it anywhere else. Not that I frequent many Asian countries, to be fair. Knick-knack shops there. Another restaurant. A phone shop. Dosbara Computer Shop, it's called. Hobby Base. Yellow Submarine Hobby Base. Now we're back out in the open again. Boring. So that's the atomic bomb dome. It's kind of weird to see it for the first time. Like, just see it with your own eyes. I came in on the streetcar over the other side of the bridge and came around, and it kind of just looms on the horizon. 1 minute it isn't there, and then it is there, and then you're like, wow, I've seen that before. And then you look at it now, and it's like what we saw in Nagasaki yesterday. I keep using the royal we. Who do I think I am? It's like what I saw in Nagasaki yesterday. It's just amazing to think that it was here. This was where it happened. Right here. The temperature on the ground at the time that the bomb exploded was something like 3,000 degrees Celsius. Everything in its path was just destroyed. And there was actually more of that building left on the day, but they had to demolish most of it. And to be fair, most of the inside is held up with wire and stuff anyway, but still, it serves its purpose. Yours was better than mine. I was trying to be discreet. So I guess of all the imagery evoked by the atomic bombing in Japan in 1945, it's probably this, the remains of this building, that are the first in the minds of most people. This is what's now known as the atomic bomb, the A dome, or what's left of it. I've only just discovered today that it was not until 1966 and 1967 that anything was actually done about preserving it. Until that time, it was just kind of there as a ruins, and there was apparently much divided public opinion as to whether or not it should be kept or it should be removed, and eventually they decided that it needed to be kept, and they got funding for it, and the rest is history, as they say. After having seen photos of it, so many photos of it over so many years, standing right next to it is quite somber. You know, knowing what happened here, it was the same as in Nagasaki yesterday, except I think here you've got a much more iconic image of what the nuclear bomb actually did. There's a photograph over there on a panel that shows what the whole area looks like in October, so 2 months after the bombing. And it was still, like, everything was just a mess. Most of this building was gone. What is there is what was left after they knocked the rest of it down because it was unsafe. It's not weird being here, it's just a weird sensation. It seems a bit odd to say, and I've felt it before. Well, I certainly felt it sort of yesterday in Nagasaki, and I've definitely felt it a few years back in Cambodia. But even though this is a World Heritage Site, and even though it's a huge tourist location, a tourist attraction, if you will, there's something that still feels slightly wrong about, you know, taking photos of this place that this awful thing happened, and this is the remnants of it. You know, it's like how I've always imagined going to the gas chambers in Poland would be like, and taking photos there. That's what I feel like here. It's almost like you just shouldn't be, because of what happened here. It's almost like you shouldn't be looking in those windows and you shouldn't be looking in those doors, but you can't not, because otherwise why did you bother coming? It's almost time for the Hiroshima special Okonomiyaki. I've held off Okonomiyaki since I got here. I haven't had any at all. I could have had some in Tokyo. I didn't see any in Nagasaki, but I probably could have had some. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Yeah, I could have had some in Tokyo, but I chose not to because I'd heard that the Hiroshima special is so good, it's totally worth waiting for, so I waited for it, and here I am. I'm not sure if I'm getting exactly what everyone talks about, but I'm in Hiroshima and I'm getting Okonomiyaki, so, you know, am I going to know whether it is what everyone's talking about? Probably not. It'll be delicious anyway, I'm quite sure. And stuck with the green tea. So ordinarily I hate taking photos of food, but this is just too good not to get some footage of. Look at that. This is the boiled green onion and mayonnaise okonomiyaki. How good does that look? Oh, yum. This is going to be spectacularly good, I think. This is the place I just went. It is superb. Tsukemen, I'll have to work out how to say that. Tsukemen is so, so good. Great service, great food, absolutely delicious.